What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another post-game show here on Mets Central. This is Mets Fan Reaction Game 85, where the New York Mets, to put it nicely, get the living shit kicked out of them by the Pittsburgh Pirates by a final score of only 12-1. So, hey, they only lost by 11 runs, so that ain't that bad when you really look at it. But, yeah, I mean, look, there's not really a lot to talk about this game other than the fact that the hitting continues to look like ass, especially with the runners in scoring position. Frankie Montas, who had a good start in his first start against the Braves, looked like complete shit today. And the bullpen continues to look like ass. So pretty much of more of what we've been, watching over the past 2 to 3 weeks. So, like I said, can we really be surprised? I mean, listen, this team is just playing some rough baseball right now. Like, and that's to put it nicely. But yeah, I mean, also before we get further into this post game, not that there's much to discuss, and I don't anticipate being live on here for a long time. Sorry that this post game is going up a little late. I had stuff to do. I was a little bit busy, and to be honest, after this game was over, I didn't really want to talk about the Mets right after this game. So yeah, that's why I'm doing this at 11:40 p.m. because I'm like, all right, plenty of time kind of passed, so let's just kind of get this over with now. But I mean, yeah, look, this team had a team meeting yesterday after again getting their doors blown up by the Pirates, and sort of similar to last year. This is kind of the lowest point in the season right now. And it's kind of like it's weird to say that considering that this team is like, I mean, they're still 10 games over 500, but the way they're playing baseball and how they look like a team that's, that should be a bottom feeder in the league right now. And I mean, they've just played a team in the Pirates who's a bottom feeder, and the Pirates outclassed them in every single way. And look, to me, and we'll get more into this on the podcast that we do tomorrow. Listen, you can do team meetings, and I have nothing against a team meeting. Listen, sometimes you have to get the players in a room, and sometimes you have to air it out, and you got to be all honest with each other, and you all have to hold yourselves accountable, right? But at the end of the day, we know what the main problem is. We know who should be fired. We've talked about this plenty of times on here. And unless Eric Chavez is going to get fired along with Jeremy Barnes, then nothing is going to change. Nothing is going to change. Because you know what? The pitching staff right now, it's banged up. You have a whole rotation right now on the IL. If you include guys like Senga, Manaya, McGill, Canning, who's going to be out for the year. Christian Scott, who got Tommy John surgery. You got a whole rotation right now out and injured. And so, while the pitching's been absolute garbage over these last couple weeks, and don't get me wrong, they still deserve blame to a certain point. But when your offense is going out against this Pittsburgh Pirates team, who, other than Paul Skeens, doesn't exactly have a great starting rotation, and aside from David Bednar, they don't have a great bullpen. And in this series, you can only create a total of 4 runs because the Mets in this series got outscored 30-4. 30-4 against one of the worst teams in baseball. And listen, I don't know, maybe some of you guys are new to this channel. Maybe some of you guys are new fans of baseball. Getting outscored 30-4 in any series is bad enough. But when you get outscored 30-4 to the Pittsburgh Pirates, that's not a good look. That is not a good look at all. So, yeah, I just right now I'm not sure where this team goes. I'm not, because, and listen, thank God they have an off day tomorrow, which is going to be in 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, 60 minutes, it's going to be Monday. Thank God they have an off day tomorrow because I don't really want to watch them tomorrow. So, and they kick off a series against the Brewers on Tuesday. So, we'll see what happens there. I just, again, it's rough right now. It's rough. And again, like we talked about before, like unless Chavez and Barnes go, like there is no point of the team meeting because something needs to be done. Someone needs to be held accountable. Like it's to a certain point. Uh, yeah, MJ, 15 minutes, 15 minutes. So we're almost there at Monday, but listen, you're 3-13, like in your last 16, and you just got swept by one of the worst teams in baseball. I mean, what in the last 5 series they got swept 3 times? For no one to be held accountable, I mean, that's just that's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. And it's even more ridiculous when you have a guy in Eric Chavez, who, by the way, cares more about fighting with fans on social media than he does actually doing his job. That's sad. That is absolutely sad when you like how I don't know. I don't know. Like it's bad right now. It's bad. So yeah, I mean, like I said, there's not much to discuss. There's not much to discuss here, and we'll obviously talk about this tomorrow when we do the podcast. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Well, we will see what happens against the Brewers. I don't really have any strong expectations. At least, I mean, let me see how the Mets at least have their starting pitchers lined up because not that it matters because they could put out a rotation against the Brewers of prime Tom Seaver, prime Pedro Martinez, and prime Roger Clemens, and they still won't win because this offense just doesn't want to hit. They don't want to hit. So does it really matter? I mean, listen, Tuesday Clay Holmes, Wednesday Blake Tidwell, and that's against Jacob Mizorowski, who's been dominant so far ever since been called up by the Brewers. So yeah, the Mets are not scoring any runs in that game. And then they have David Pearson, who's gotten, just completely destroyed his last 2 outings, both against the Pirates and the Phillies. And, of course, former Met Jose Quintana is on the mound on Thursday. So he's probably going to pitch a complete game shutout because why wouldn't he? Why wouldn't he? Yeah. I mean, like I said, this is not going to be a short post game because, like, what is there to talk about? Like, do I really want to talk about how bad Frankie Montas looked like? Do I really want to continue on about how this offense continues to be inept? But I mean, yeah, like we always say, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel. We always appreciate you guys' support here, and also make sure to turn on and hit the notification bell to let you guys know anytime we upload a video or go live on the channel. But yeah, before I get out of here, I'll just quickly go through your guys' comments and then and then that'll be it. Two Cats, what is going on? Hey, how you doing, Matt? Was just about to hit the bed. Glad to see you went live. Yeah, I kind of had to do it. I mean, we have to put not that we have to because it's not like we get paid for this, but if we do want to build something eventually, and we want to get this channel to a very good spot where eventually maybe we're one of the top Mets YouTube channels out there. Listen, we have to put out content even if the team is shit. So, or if the team is playing shit. So, can't take any games off, can't take any days off. That's how the mentality's got to be. At least right now, we have a mentality that's better than the team. So, hey, at least we have something positive to say. Two Cats again. All I can say is not even mad, disappointed, and embarrassing. Worst outscored series in 64-year history of the team to a horrible offensive team is really all that can be said. I mean, yeah, listen, I'm not really mad. I'm not. It's just I think it's to a point where if you play as bad of baseball as the Mets are playing, it's like you can't really be mad because what's the point of being mad? Like nothing is going to be solved by you being mad, by you cursing, by you screaming, by you throwing stuff. Like I'm not going to feel better, and it's not going to change anything. So why be mad? Why be mad? MJ 15. Yeah, I read this before. 15 minutes till Monday. Don't remind me, Matt. Well, now it's 11 minutes. So we're slowly counting down. We're slowly making our way till Monday. And also Monday will also be a day before free agency, and yeah, I don't expect the Rangers to do anything on free agency either because, Keandre Miller's still a Ranger. And not that they were going to do anything either because at worst they were going to sign Gavrikov to just a bad deal. But I know this is not what's it called, the hockey channel, and people probably are mad that I'm bringing up hockey right now. But yeah, the Mets playing bad baseball right now, and the Rangers are heading towards another terrible season where they will likely miss the playoffs. So yeah, it's not looking too good as of right now. Two Cats, glad to see Vientos is back where he was. Yeah, Vientos is just, he's lost right now. And also, matter of fact, and I'm sure we'll touch upon this tomorrow, but has anyone noticed how well Francisco Alvarez is playing right now in AAA in Syracuse? Now, listen, I get that people will point to the fact and say that the pitching down there is not as good as the major leagues, but you know what? Francisco Alvarez is doing everything right now in AAA that he wasn't doing up here in the major leagues, and that's hitting for power, pulling the ball, and hey, did anyone notice also? He's back to his old stance in 2023 where he was actually hitting the ball in the air and pulling it for power. It's almost as if you get Francisco Alvarez away from Eric Chavez, he can actually look like the player he was supposed to be. What a coincidence. God, I mean, listen, there isn't any more evidence that you need for Chavez to go. There really isn't. Like, we've had a 4 year, and we brought this up before. You've had a 4-year sample size that clearly shows that Eric Chavez is not a good hitting coach. And also, you have your top prospect, or at least former top prospect, Francisco Alvarez, look like a shell of the guy that he was initially when he came up through the minors, and the guy that he looked like when he first came up in 2023. Completely lost, doesn't look like he belongs anywhere near the majors, and then he goes back down to AAA, and all of a sudden he's mashing. It's like, I'm sorry, this is not a coincidence. This is not a coincidence. When you are poorly coached, your development is going to be messed up. And clearly, the hitting coach in AAA is clearly doing something right. Because anytime these guys go down there, for example, Mauricio, Beatty, Alvarez, they look like completely different hitters. And sure, listen, I get to a certain point, the level of pitching and the difficulty of pitching matters. But it's like, it's a total 180 of how these guys look like. Like Ronnie Mauricio, when he was down there, he was destroyed. He had a 500 batting average. He had what? Over a 1,300, 1,200 OPS? And then he comes up here, and listen, I get it. Mauricio probably still isn't ready. And the fact that he's missed a year and a half, so he still probably does need some time to get up to full speed and up to major league speed. But I mean, he looks like a totally different hitter. And then listen, I mean, Brett Beatty, it is what it is. Maybe at the day he is a quadruple A player, but again, there is evidence to show he looks so much of a better player down in AAA than in the major leagues. And then right now for Francisco Alvarez, and listen, it's a short sample size, but so far I've seen more from Francisco Alvarez in 2 games in AAA than I've seen from him since August to, from August till a couple days ago since he got sent down. He looks like a totally different player. So it can't be a coincidence. It just can't be. Eric Chavez must go along with Jeremy Barnes. And we will keep saying this over and over and over again because something needs to change. Someone needs to be held accountable. And until that person, and until those 2 people get removed from their job, then we will continue to scream it. And look, like I brought up before, even if Chavez and Barnes get fired, maybe the Mets don't turn into a top offense in baseball right away. Because I brought this up before. The Texas Rangers, I believe 2 months ago, a month and a half ago, fired their hitting coach, and they still haven't looked like a great offensive team. So I'm not expecting results to change right away, but can we at least send a message? Can we at least send a message to say, if the team plays bad, someone is going to be held accountable. And maybe that is going to light a fire under these guys' ass to say, oh shit, we have to play better, because if not, people are going to start losing our jobs because of us. And like I said, you have to just get rid of him. Like, you have to, and also, like I said, maybe you don't get the results right away, but you know what? Just get rid of the voice. Get rid of the cancer. Don't let it spread anymore. Get it out of here. And listen, maybe the exact perfect replacement hitting coach is not there in the market, you know what? I don't care. Because as of right now, Chavez is not even doing his job regardless. Like, how many stories do we have to hear of guys begging and asking Chavez to actually do their job? So he's not even doing his job right now. So what is the point of having him on the coaching staff at all? Like, if you're going to pay someone to just sit there and hang out with the guys, shit, give me the job. Give me the job. I will. You don't even have to pay me. I'll do that for free. I'll do it for free. So I don't know. He needs to go. Like, listen, and I said we're gonna keep screaming. We're gonna keep screaming this. We're gonna keep talking about this until eventually David Stern pulls the plug. And again, I don't know what the hell the hesitancy is to fire Chavez and Barnes. I really don't. I really don't. Like, they must have some type of blackmail in the market, because that could be the only explanation for me. Because the results speak for themselves. This team has the second worst batting average with the runners in scoring position in Major League Baseball. The only team that's behind them is the Chicago White Sox. So, off of that piece of information alone, they should be fired. Not also to fact, and that's not even mentoring and factoring in all the years before of 22, 23, and even points of last year where this offense was ineffective. So, I'm sorry, you've had a big enough sample size, and you've had plenty of data to collect over these past 3.5 years, 4 years to say, okay, this guy is not the guy. That's it. That's it. Pablo, what is going on? This is really getting sad, and what a surprise. Alvarez is hitting bomb in Syracuse. Yep, like I just brought up. It's not a coincidence, Pablo. It's really not. It's really not. And also to factor in, like, okay, maybe the perfect hitting coach isn't out there right now, the ideal replacement. Bring up the AAA, bring up the Syracuse Mets hitting coach, because he's getting results when these guys go down there. So just promote him, give him an interim spot. And eventually when you find that guy, if you do, send them back down to AAA, and that guy gets the job. Or maybe, just maybe, that guy, whoever, I don't know the AAA, the Syracuse Mets hitting coach's name, but maybe if that guy does a good enough job, shit, maybe you give him the job. Who knows? Who knows? But you won't know unless you try it. If Miz isn't starting, you guys are fine. Oh, no, he's starting. He's starting the second game, so we are absolutely fucked that game. We are fucked. And again, who's pitching that second game? Blade Tidwell. So, I mean, listen, Tidwell hasn't been great. Do I think maybe he can give some type of, results? Sure, but doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Jacob Mizorowski throws heat. He has very good control. This offense is screwed. Two Cats. I think this team will be out of a playoff spot by next weekend. Too many good teams in the NL. Brewers already took over first wildcard spot. And now the Cards, Giants, Padres, and even Reds are all right there. I mean, listen, if they keep losing games like this, they'll be out of a playoff spot in no time. So, this team's Pablo again. This team's offense is trash. We're almost at the halfway point. Not even almost. We are at the halfway point. It's game 85. This is, half of 162 is 81. So we are past halfway. So this is just what the offense is right now until Chavez goes. Talking about the same stuff since the start of the year. Yep. You guys already have the best Ranger channel out there. Thank you, MJ. We greatly appreciate that. Not that there's anything to really talk about the Rangers either, but yeah, thank you. And, we appreciate that type of support from you, MJ. Frank P, what is going on? I don't believe I've seen you on the channel yet. So welcome to the channel. And yeah, just, anytime you feel like you want to contribute and, comment in the live chat, just do it. We'll end up reading your stuff and make sure you also, leave a like and subscribe. So yeah. Vientos is not doing anything. Nope. He's looked horrible since he's come back up and off of injury. Two Cats. It's the top four, and then everything else does nothing. And when the top guys have off games, this would have when the top guys don't hit, the offense does nothing because the bottom line absolutely sucks. Frank P, both hitting coaches suck. Yup. Two Cats, these guys should have been fired so long ago. It's laughable, 100%. When you got Beatty and Vientos in AAA and away from Chavez, they rake 2. Yep. Frank P again. It's ridiculous because both hitting coaches are recognized by the gloves and not as hitters when they used to play. Yep. Yep. Frank was right. I mean, yeah, I don't really want to. I like Frank, but sometimes he's just a little too much. Sometimes he's just a little too much. Game for war. My problem is that if Stearns is supposed to be such a genius, why hasn't he got rid of the Chavez? Why hasn't he got rid of Chavez when common sense said to fire him last year? June Stearns is looking like an idiot for keeping him. I mean, listen, I love David Stearns. I trust David Stearns to take this team forward. I just don't get the hesitation to fire Chavez. I really don't. I really don't. And until he's gone, I just this team is not going anywhere. This team is not going anywhere. And like I said, I don't get the hesitation because, and I brought this up before, but it's not like Chavez was a Stearns hire. Chavez was brought in here in 2022 under Billy Epler. So I don't get what the hesitation is to pull the plug on him because it's clearly not working, and you need to change something. But hey, whatever. Should make for an interesting trade deadline. Yeah, we'll see what happens. I mean, we're a month away. I believe, because July, I believe the trade deadline is July 31st, and I mean right now we just passed midnight, so it's June 30th. So I don't know, but the trade deadline is next month, so we are officially a month away from the trade deadline, and this is going to be an interesting month to say the least. Izzy was going on another players only meeting. They just had a players only meeting after the second game. So yeah. I don't know. I mean, like I talked about, we're gonna talk about this on the podcast tomorrow. Players only meeting is gonna mean so much. Unless Chavez goes, the players only meeting really doesn't mean anything. Because unless the philosophy changes and unless he's out of the organization, nothing's going to change. Two Cats, great stream, Matt. Hope for a positive on Tuesday. Hopefully, but we'll see. We will see. But anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for me. Yeah, as I said before, expect the podcast tomorrow, probably around 2:00, the usual time we do it. So yeah, that's really it. And yeah, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe on the channel. Again, we greatly appreciate you guys' support. And also make sure you guys hit the notification bell as well to let you guys to let you guys know anytime we upload a video or go live on the channel. But yeah, that's gonna be it for me. Peace, guys. See you later. Let's go, Mets.